And welcome back, everyone, to What If. It's the one-shot What If on Tuesday that I normally do. Coming from True God, we have What If Sasuke had Sage Mode. Now, before anyone gets on my case, I'm very well aware that's Sage transformation in the picture, not Sage Mode. But A, didn't really have enough time to make an actual thumbnail with Sasuke with Sage Mode eyes. B, that just looks cooler. And C, it would still ties in because the Sage Mode Sasuke would clearly get would be the Snake Sage Mode. He trained under Orochimaru for 3 years. It's very likely he did go to, what's the name of the cave? Hold on. The Snake Cave. Because you got Mount Miyabuku for the toads and Ryuchi Cave for the snakes. It's very clear that this would be the Sage Mode because he trained under Orochimaru, who has been to Ryuchi Caves. Kabuto knows where it is. It's even possible they visit. I don't think it's ever stated, but it's possible they visited during his training. So I could see him bringing Sasuke to see if he could maybe train Sasuke up a little bit in Sage Mode, make it an even better vessel. What he fails to realize, though, is that Sasuke actually ultimately gains Sage Mode. That he goes off and trains with his own with the snakes, and his sheer will and all that just powers through and he becomes a snake sage. Okay, great, wonderful. Moving on. When does this become applicable? When does this become relevant in the story? It doesn't come relevant in the Sasuke or the bridge arc because Sasuke barely was trying in that. He was not using his full capabilities at all when Naruto and Team 7 tried to interact with him. So where would it become important? Well, it would become important starting with the fight with Deidara. Now, Sasuke probably doesn't use... Now, well, Sasuke probably is a perfect-esque sage. He doesn't just use his Sage mode willy-nilly. He saves it kind of like as a trump card, I think. Or he goes into the fight immediately with the Sage mode activated. With Deidara, I don't think he sees the need to really use it the first time around, because he did dominate a lot of that fight, to be honest. And by the end of the fight, there was no real point in activating Sage mode. So with Deidara, we don't get Sage mode. With Itachi, oh, you bet your ass he uses it against Itachi. In fact, he probably, as they're squaring up on each other, Sasuke just kind of does a monologue and say, "You really think I've been training all this time, and I've grown more powerful than you could possibly have, than you ever could have been. We'll see, little brother. And Itachi actually just goes, wait, what is that aura around him? All of a sudden, he just sees the eyes change, and he does. He gains some more snake-like traits, turns into the dragon. He's going to say, I promise you, I will defeat you, brother. And so they clash. Itachi goes down on the major back foot because Sasuke's Sage Mode gives him a level of ability that he is not prepared for. Even Edo Tensei Itachi, although he did win the fight with Kabuto, struggled against the Sage Mode Kabuto. Sasuke maybe even tries to do the White Rage technique where he summons out the Senjutsu Dragon from his mouth, the orb, to basically do the light and thundering ability to paralyze Itachi. This, I think, forces Itachi to activate Amaterasu just out of instinct. But Sasuke avoids it because he can turn inorganics into, basically breathe life into inorganic material. What's the name of that technique again? I believe it's called, no, where is it? Inorganic reincarnation? Is that what it's called? Yes, I believe that's it. Sage art can be used to enslave objects with no life functions, such as Earth, giving the user the ability to make even drastic alterations to the immediate environment that occur both suddenly and unexpectedly. This makes attacks using this method extremely difficult to avoid, even for someone with a Sharingan. Among the various Sage modes, only those who have mastered Senjutsu from Ryuchi Cave can beat this technique. Intense heat like flames from Amaterasu can counter the effects of this technique, causing the inorganic material to revert to a lightless state. And so Sasuke probably does a combination of both the White Rage and this to basically pin Itachi down. Did I say Itachi? Sasuke. Sasuke does to pin Itachi down. Come in. Itachi probably still has knowledge of Sage mode to some degree, or Sage techniques, Senjutsu, all that, because he's just studied a lot. He's been around. And so he activates Amaterasu, which immediately counters all of Sasuke's effects minus the paralysis. And Sasuke actually does get hit. He manages to get the flames off with Sage Mode Chakra. He uses the curse mark as well. But unfortunately, it's just not enough. He goes into a Sage Mode Enhanced Kirin, brings it down. Susanoo. And Sasuke now is really tired out. His sage mode has run out at this point. Orochimaru does ultimately show up. He gets stabbed. Sasuke is able to and sealed away. Sasuke is able to go back into sage mode again. Tries to throw everything he can at him. I would or does the inorganic reincarnation work on chakra itself? Like obviously what I'm trying to get at is Susanoo here, because that is an inorganic, lifeless thing. I imagine no, because chakra still has like life force energy in it, and it's part of the user that's using it. So I would imagine it does not work on that. Sasuke tries to avoid the Susanoo, but Susanoo just like swipes at the ground. And he's like, ah! And Sasuke, even in stage mode, is pinned. He can't do anything. It's like, your eyes are mine, brother. And they just, sorry, Sasuke, and then just dies. And so that is the end of the Itachi fight. Sasuke comes out on top, and he pushed Itachi a lot harder. I still don't think Sasuke would have won. I think what it would have done is resulted in Itachi pulled that Amaterasu a lot earlier. Plus, there's also the Genjutsu square off. I don't think that's actually going to be very relevant because the Sage Kabuto is not immune to Genjutsu, but he had a lot of resistances to a lot of them. I think Sasuke would have a similar thing going on here. Like his Sharingan is actually blocked by special lenses. And so you would get him going up against Killer B. Again, because he knows the Jinchuriki, he would probably go into Sage Mode immediately. Would his Sage Mode give him an edge against Killer B? Well, it certainly wouldn't hurt. I unfortunately don't think it would, though. Killer B was really dominating Sasuke in that entire fight. The only thing that gave Sasuke any leg up at that point was Amaterasu. And even then, it only it puts the Eight Tails down temporarily. Killer B just honestly used it as an form to escape. If Killer B wanted, he could have ended that fight with a Tail Beast Bomb right then and there if you really wanted to. Killer B probably could have won that fight without too much difficulty. Sasuke tries to, turn the ground into, inorganics. Killer B, though, just bursts out of there with his Tail Beast Chakra. I honestly don't think the Sage Mode, apart from giving him some better awareness of his surroundings, would really do much in this fight, unfortunately. This fast forwards us all the way to the Kage Summit. Now, the Kage Summit, we know he mostly fought A. He went up against Mei and Onoiki. He would have straight out lost to both of them, actually, had he not had his Susanoo. And if Obito had not stepped in, he would have been freaking killed, which is... I did my dumbest Shippuden decisions video a while back, and I got people kind of not arguing, but kind of trying to justify why he did it. I'm like, no, I don't care what the justification is. That was a really, really dumb decision. He honestly thought he could beat any one of those Kage, and he really couldn't. He really could not beat any one of those Kage. Arguably Gaara, he could, and even Gaara was more than willing to keep up with him, more capable of keeping up with him. Onoiki was about to just straight out kill him. Mei could have easily melted his face off if he hadn't gotten lucky. And A, had the fight not been stopped, probably would have actually killed his ass. Which brings us to that fight, actually. The big change here would be the A versus Sasuke fight. Let's just ask the question. Would he just straight out kill A? Because I'm going to be honest, problem with Sasuke right now is his arrogance throughout. That's his problem since day one, up until we get to Boruto. After get to Boruto, he's finally matured, leveled out, all that. But up until then, that arrogance, he probably doesn't even think to go into Sage Mode initially. If he was initially in Sage Mode, he'd have a much better shot, because this is where he started to activate Susanoo. But because he probably doesn't, the fight probably starts the same, and even when he decides to go into Sage Mode, doesn't really matter. He can't keep up with that speed. He does not have that reaction speed yet. He's not at that Naruto level, 6 pass level, where you can react to light speed movement. And even if he is, he's still not faster than A. We know that. He's definitely got the reflexes, he's got the awareness thanks to his Sharingan and his Sage Mode. But he's not fast enough to keep up with A. We've known this for a fact. With Rock Lee in the part 1, He could follow Lee's movements, he just couldn't keep up. And A is the fastest guy alive in the Narutoverse at this point, up until Naruto gets his Kurama mode. So even with Sage Mode enhancing things, A is just plowing right through him. But it gives him more durability to last longer in the fight, more options to stall out or get away, including, again, the White Rage technique to basically paralyze A when he gets the chance. And then Sasuke's trying to make it to Danzo. The other Kage get involved. Ultimately, it still ends the same way. A loses his arm. Maybe even gets a bit more effed up. Maybe he has a couple extra scars on him. Sasuke ultimately finds Danzo, and he won the fight in the original one. He wins the fight here a lot easier. His Sage Mode completely trumps Danzo's faux wood style and his Izanagi, which he can only use so many times. So Sasuke would definitely take the win in that, and without any real major story changes. Now, because he's going blind at this point, even with Sage Mode, he can only do so much. So Kakashi and him are still on a relative keel, and Naruto then shows up as well. Although he is still probably outmatching Kakashi. Kakashi doesn't die or anything, but Kakashi is also kind of getting his butt whooped a little bit. He gets his Eternal Mangekyo. He would not show up for a good long while until we get to the final part of the series, the fight. You add his Sage Mode combined with his Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, and they go toe-to-toe, and is a perfect Susanoo combined with Sage Mode and Naruto Sage Mode. Two Sage Modes combined together. And you get a overpowered version of Sasuke. I'm actually going to fast forward a little bit here, because I think it just lends more to the victories they get in the series. Like, even though Naruto has the true, as Ashura's chakra, and therefore he has the better Sage Mode, technically, Sasuke still gets to add Snake Sage Mode to his other abilities. So the question very quickly becomes, with that extra Sage Mode, does he kill Naruto in the Valley of the End? And that's difficult because Naruto also has Sage Mode. I think the real thing here is, even though he's amping himself with Sage Mode, he doesn't have 6 Sage Chakra. He does, but you know what I mean. He doesn't have the Kurama Cloak. He's not, while he's probably like melding the Sage Mode into his Susanoo to some degree, the amount he is doing with that is probably only so much. Add on to the fact that when that fight really, when they finally like throw everything they have at each other, that there's no inorganic anything besides air to really use the Sage Mode with. So nothing really, he can't really do anything with that. Maybe he combines the Raging White, or whatever the name of the technique is. What's the name of the technique again? The White Rage technique with his arrow to try to paralyze Naruto, but Kurama probably just bypasses that. Point being, he's still going to maybe have extra power. I just don't think it's going to really matter. And unfortunately, they're going to be too tired out to really go back into Sage Mode, because Naruto never went back into Sage Mode. And if Sasuke does decide to hold still and go back to Sage Mode, this gives Naruto ample time to go back into Sage Mode. So they're going to be Sage Mode versus Sage Mode. Let's just hypothetically say that even happens. Now you have the Sage Mode versus Sage Mode. What is the difference between them? Well, we know the difference really ultimately becomes the inorganic life or inorganic resurrection technique versus the constant aura you have around you. Two Sage Modes would probably be able to sense each other's nature energy, which means Naruto's aura is not going to catch Sasuke necessarily off guard. Plus, he already has the Sharingan, all that. Whereas Sasuke's inorganic technique could still work. But Naruto collecting Sage Mode would still be able to throw other techniques like his Rust and Shuriken, all that. And Sasuke would be able to power through with his, say, Chidori attacks, but Naruto would have the edge there. They would probably be clashing, and in the hand-to-hand combat range, this is where Naruto gets the edge thanks to his Sage Mode over Sasuke's. Sasuke is aware of this Sage Mode, but, or aware of this, he's aware of this aura around him, this natural extension over his body. but he can't do much about it. Like, he theoretically could still absorb Naruto's nature energy. The problem is, even though Sasuke can balance that nature, his own nature energy, adding more nature energy ruins the balance. So if he goes too hard on the nature energy, remember, it's about balance. You got to get the perfect ratio. If he absorbs too much of that energy, he's going to turn to stone, and that's not good. And Sasuke knows this, which means he realized Naruto picked out the right technique so as to not, and Naruto probably adds a little bit more chakra as he did originally. Sasuke did end up absorbing that in their fight. Here, Naruto is able to get a little bit extra of Kurama's chakra to help amp him further, which really helps narrowing the field because, frankly, the Snake Sage mode is probably the stronger Sage mode overall. They clash. They have their one final boss, Sage mode Rasengan versus Sage mode Chidori. They still blow off each other's arms, and they both just finally just have it. They're done. They sit there and go, ugh. And he acknowledges Naruto's the stronger of the two, and Naruto brought him back. All the good stuff. All the good shit, Billy. So, last but not least, Boruto. Let's just at least talk Boruto a little bit right now. I don't do Boruto very much. I follow what's going on currently in the series, and especially for Versus, because apparently Naruto will eventually be getting another upgrade, and Boruto's constantly getting upgrades. So, would his Sage mode come into play at all during the Boruto arcs? Because you have the Boruto Naruto movie, which would help out against Momoshiki. It would. Would his Sage mode do anything against Jingen? I don't think so, to be honest. Because Naruto had his 6 pass chakra activated, and he got clapped. So he had to go full on Baryon mode for that. Honestly, I don't think Sasuke's Sage mode would have a huge amount of relevance into Boruto anymore. Because and I think the reason for that is Naruto's Sage mode, frankly, doesn't have a lot of relevance in Boruto. It just unfortunately doesn't. It shows up every once in a while, from what I know, but it doesn't really have that much relevance. As we found out recently, thanks to the Chapter 5 for Blue Vortex leaks, we know what happened to Sasuke. He kind of gave Boruto a chance to run away as he held off a bunch of claw grind before being turned to a tree. Maybe his Sage mode could... this could be a theory, and I'm just playing around at this point. Maybe having a Sage mode could theoretically prevent some level of the, let's call it treeification. Could do something to reverse it, or could do something to offset it, or even poison the claw grind. But because they are technically like mini Ten Tails, they're still composed of natural chakras, so I guess that wouldn't work. Hypothetically, you could turn the ground into liquid or whatever and harden it, keep them in the ground for a bit, and start trying to take their heads off. Theoretically, that could work, but the problem is once we get into Blue Vortex, at that point, I can't do anything else because we're barely in Blue Vortex right now. So yeah, and see, there you go. Thanks to guys like NC Hammer. Nick, I do keep up with Boruto thanks to them because I love his content. He's one of the great Naruto YouTubers, I think. I don't always agree with his opinion, by the way, but I do love his theory videos. I love him reviewing stuff. He's got a great energy. I love his vibe. So yeah. But anyway, I digress. That's my thoughts of what if Sasuke has Sage mode. He'd definitely be a powerhouse. And it would be enough that it would probably, for the wins that he gets in the series, it'd make them a lot more firm. And the losses he takes, it makes the losses he takes a little more difficult to take. If that makes any sense. It's harder for him to take a loss with it. I still think, though, Naruto would ultimately beat him. A, plot armor, but B, Sage mode versus Sage mode means Naruto has another trump card, another card in the deck to actually beat Sasuke with. Because if he has to take time out of his day to gather Sage Chakra, so can Naruto. That's the reason basically when they were kind of tapped out, Naruto didn't really go into Sage mode at that point. Sasuke really wasn't giving him a chance. Although, there was the point near the end of the fight where Sasuke had his Chidori, Naruto created a Rasengan, and they charged at each other, and they were a distance away. So technically speaking, Naruto could have gone in Sage mode there. Actually, there's no technically about it. He could have done that. There really is no argument for why he couldn't have done it. Was he tired? Sure, but you can still go back into sage mode when you're tired. It's just about standing still and gathering chakra. We know Naruto became an expert at doing that by the end of the series. I honestly think, though, the reason he didn't do it, and this is my headcanon here, but it would make sense, is because he didn't want to kill Sasuke. Because I think he would have realized that if I do this, I'm going to kill Sasuke. So, like, I'm just going to do it, yeah, because otherwise, think about it, yeah, no, he would kill him. So, Sasuke didn't have anything else. He was on his last legs. Naruto was on his last legs too, but Naruto could access Sage Chakra if he actually wanted to. So, or Natural Chakra. So, yeah. Not only that, he could have used the Sage Chakra, make a Rasengan, win Rasengan, Rasen Shuriken. We know he can do that several times thanks to his nature energy. It could be the fact that his chakra was so low, however, that he couldn't balance it out properly. That is a possibility. I don't know, though. Do you buy that? I don't personally buy that, but if Kishimoto were to actually come out and say, yeah, that's the reason Naruto didn't do that in the fight, then I'd buy it. I don't quite buy it. I mean, I would accept it. I don't buy it at the moment, but it is something that could make sense. I digress. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Tomorrow will be part 3 of What If Naruto ate a Devil Fruit, the Kage no Mi edition. I will see you folks for the next one.